Okay, so imagine you're thinking about moving somewhere new. You read the travel guides, maybe see the nice pictures, but what's it actually like day to day? Well, what are those messy bits nobody really warned you about? Well, today we're doing a deep dive into exactly that, looking at what it's really like to move to Germany. Our main source here is this YouTube video. It's called 9 Things I Wish I Knew Before Moving to Germany. And it's from someone who's actually, lived it. So our mission is to pull out the most useful bits, the surprises, maybe the things that don't quite match the stereotypes, all from this personal story, just to give you a clearer picture.
Absolutely. And what's great about a personal take like this is how it connects all the dots, Finding a place, work, the little daily things. It gives you a much sort of richer sense of the whole experience than just reading rules. It's about actually navigating it all.
All right, let's jump in then. The first big point from the video sounds like a major one. Finding a long-term apartment. They say it's guff, especially if your German isn't quite there yet.
Yeah, that's a biggie. And they mentioned something really surprising about what unfurnished can mean over there. Apparently, it's common for the last tenant to clear basically everything out.
Everything. Like, okay, there's sofa and stuff, sure, but built-in things.
Well, according to this video, yeah, it can be pretty literal. They actually said things like no curtains nor shelves, no light fittings, nor toilet seats.
Wait, hold on. No light fittings, like just wires hanging down?
Yeah.
And no toilet seat.
That's what they said. And here's the real kicker. The thing that could be a massive shock. Often, no kitchen.
No kitchen? You mean like just pipes sticking out of the wall where a kitchen should be?
Pretty much, yeah. So on one hand, you get a totally blank slate. But the downside is, well, a pretty big cost and hassle to install a whole new kitchen yourself. The person in the video did have a good tip, though. They mentioned using eBay Kleinanzeigen. It's like a local classified site. Good for finding secondhand stuff, furniture, maybe even kitchen parts. Or pets, apparently.
Wow, okay. Install your own kitchen. That's definitely something to know up front. So, okay, you've potentially built a kitchen. Now you need a job. What did the source say about work?
Right, work. They kind of break it down into 3 main types you'll find. Full-time, part-time, and this thing called a MiniJob.
Okay, can you run through the details they gave for each?
Sure. So full-time, that's usually 36 to 40 hours a week, typically like 7 or 8 hours a day, and you get a mandatory 30-minute lunch break. Oh, and a key thing they mentioned, working more than 10 hours in a single day, actually illegal.
Good to know. And part-time is just less.
Yeah, part-time is anything under 30 hours a week, basically.
Okay, and this mini job sounds tiny. What's the deal with that?
It's quite specific. It's capped at around 10 hours a week, and you can't earn more than 520 euros a month from it.
Huh. Any benefits?
Well, the source says it's tax-free, which sounds good. But, and this is a really crucial point they made with a mini job, you are not provided the universal health care that comes with paying taxes.
Ah, okay. So you save on tax but lose the standard health coverage. That's a huge trade-off.
Definitely something to weigh up.
The video also mentioned some warnings, didn't it? Particularly about minimum wage jobs.
Yes, they did. They shared some personal experiences that sounded, well, not great. They used the words unorganized and sketchy.
Sketchy? That's concerning. What sort of things did they mean?
Well, they gave examples like getting paid under the table, finding out they didn't actually have the health insurance they thought was sorted.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, and employees being made to work over those legal 10-hour days multiple times. And even in one case, someone apparently didn't get paid for a whole month.
Yikes. Okay, so if you're trying to avoid that kind of situation, what was the advice? How do you protect yourself?
They were really clear on this, basically. Make sure to have a signed contract by you and your employer and keep track of your working hours. Seems like essential advice, really.
Absolutely essential. Okay, let's shift gears. Let's talk about something Germany's kind of famous for. Sundays. The source confirms they take their rest day pretty seriously. Right?
Oh, yeah. Very seriously. It's tied to the store closing law, the Ladenschlussgesetz, I think it's called. Basically means most shops cannot open on Sundays.
Why is that? Just tradition?
Well, the video mentions it has roots in religion, sure, but it's also framed strongly as an opportunity to give the workers a break each week, which, makes sense.
So forget doing your grocery shopping or hitting the mall on a Sunday then?
Pretty much. Most retail stores, bakeries even, are shut. You might find restaurants, cafes, maybe gas stations open, but that's about it.
I feel like I've heard stories about noise, too. Like you can't make noise on Sundays. Did the video mention that?
It did, and it's another one of those fascinating sort of rhythm of life things. They said it's really frowned upon to do noisy chores on a Sunday.
Frowned upon. Like
Yeah.
people will just give you dirty looks
Yeah.
or actual trouble.
Well, they used mowing the lawn as the classic example, and they said you might get a loud, angry knock at the door or a quiet little fine in the mail if you disturb the peace.
High fine. Okay, they really do take it seriously. That totally explains why Saturdays are apparently just packed with people doing their weekly shop.
Exactly. You got to get it done. Though they did mention these rare open Sundays for cough softener Sonntag, which apparently happen occasionally. And they said it can really mess with your head, make you forget what day it is because it feels so wrong.
Huh. I can imagine. So besides Sunday being super quiet, did they mention other quiet times?
Yeah, it's not just Sundays. They talked about general quiet hours or Ruhezeiten. Usually that's somewhere between 8 p.m. and 7 a.m. from Monday to Saturday. And then, like we said, basically all day on Sunday.
Good to know if you're a night owl with a vacuum cleaner. All right, let's switch to some, daily practical things. Water. We all need it. What did the source say about German water?
Good news on that front. They were pretty clear. The quality of drinking water in Germany is good, so it is safe to drink tap water.
Excellent. One less thing to worry about. Any quirks about water habits?
Oh, definitely. Apparently, Germany is a huge fan of sparkling water. They call it Sprudel.
Right, fizzy water.
Yeah, but they seem to really love it. The video says they mix it with fruit juices, that's called Schorl, or even with cider or wine.
Sparkling wine juice. Okay.
And apparently there's even a not-so-sparkling water option, just a little bit fizzy.
Germans and their water options. Okay, moving from drinking to disposing, recycling. Germany has this reputation for being super organized about it. Did the source confirm that?
Oh, yeah. Big time. They described Germany as a big fan of recycling, and yes, it sounds very systematic.
How does it work then, based on their experience? What are the rules?
Well, it's all about the color-coded bins. Yellow bin is for plastics and soft metals, like cans. And they mention sometimes if you don't have a bin, you need special plastic yellow bags from the city hall or a pharmacy. Then blue is for paper and cardboard. But with cardboard, you apparently need to rip it to shreds or fold it and stuff it in. No, just chucking big boxes in whole.
Right. You gotta break it down.
Green and brown bins are for organic or bio-waste, but they said not every house has those. And then the black or gray bin is kind of the catch-all for everything else that doesn't fit the other categories.
Wow, that's a lot to keep straight. What about trickier things, like batteries or glass bottles?
Yeah, those have special rules too. Batteries, old light bulbs. Small electronics usually take those back to collection points in some drugstores and grocery stores.
Right.
And glass wine bottles, jars, that kind of thing doesn't go in your household bins. You take it to larger communal containers in the neighborhood, and you have to sort it by color.
Right.
Brown glass, white clear glass, and green glass each have their own slot.
Man, okay, you really have to learn the system.
Yeah.
And connected to that, they mentioned something called FAND. What is that?
PFAND, right. It's basically a deposit system. When you buy drinks...